All right, so today we're going to be doing a video on IB assessment and grading. And again, this may be something that you're not even thinking about as you're making your IB course selections, but when you're thinking about the differences between SL and HL and your chances of obtaining the IB diploma, it becomes important. So we just wanted to make sure you had all the information in advance. So as we've been reiterating, TBLS is an IB for all school, which means that all of you will be taking all IB courses with the exception of health and physical education during Class 2 and Class 1. TBLS also covers all IB program costs for Disciply. So that's actually almost $1,000 per student. So that's a lot of money that we pay for you to enter and enjoy the IB program. The IB curriculum also spans 2 years. So the courses that you're in will be the same in junior and senior year, with the exception of having health during junior year, and then that same spot will be taken up by TOK in senior year, regardless of whether you take TOK or not in your junior year. There are 2 main categories of IB assessments. Now, these are apart from your TBLS assessments. Some of them, in particular, the internal assessments will count for your TBLS grade, but the external assessments that you take in May of senior year will not. So these are apart from the things that you're doing to get your TBLS grade. Internal assessments are assessments that are conducted and graded by your TBLS magistry. They're different for every course. For most courses, the internal assessment also gets calculated into your TBLS grade, so whether you think you're going to take the IB exams or not, you will be doing these. An example of this is for math. You do a math exploration. So you write a 12-page paper on any topic of your choosing and explore the mathematics of it. So there's an example in the slides here that I'll ask you to read now. For science, your internal assessment is a lab. For history, it's a historical investigation. For English, it's an oral commentary. They're different, again, for each subject. External assessments are the official timed in-person exams that will take place in May of 2023 for you. These exams have no effect on your TBLS GPA. In fact, we don't even know how you score on them until well after you graduate. Most courses have at least 2 papers, they call them, or 2 different exams that happen over 2 different days. So you may be taking your math exams on Thursday and Friday, and your English exams on Monday and Tuesday. Some even have 3 exams, again happening over 2 days. Examples of this are Math HL and Chemistry HL. In addition, some of your core classes also have external assessments that happen in class but are not graded by your TBLS magistry and may or may not have any impact on your grade. If you opt into Group 1 HL, so English HL, you'll write an essay that again gets sent off to the IB and graded by them. Your TOK essay, and anything in Group 6, which are the arts. So visual arts and theater arts, you do not sit for in-person exams. You put together a portfolio that then gets graded by the IB. The IB, based on these internal and external exams, will give you a score between 1 and 5. If you have friends that are in AP classes, they get scores between, 1 and 7. If you have friends in AP exams, they get scores between 1 and 5. Typically, 4 to 7 is what we consider passing. For each class, the breakdown of how much the internal assessment counts versus the external assessment counts is very different. So here there are 2 examples for math, Math SL, and Math HL, and you can see the different breakdowns. Now, all of you have an opportunity to earn what we call IB certificates based on how well you do on these specific IB exams. In order to gain an IB certificate, all you need to do is complete all assessment components, including your internal assessments and sitting for your exams in May, with no academic integrity violations. You can also gain certificates for writing your extended essay, for CAS, and for TOK. These certificates of disciplinary achievement, regardless of diploma candidacy, will be sent to colleges and can potentially earn college credit. If you do opt into the optional IB diploma, in order to obtain the IB diploma, you have to complete successfully CAS, TOK, EE, all 6 subject exams, but wait, that's not it. You have to score at least 24 points total. At least 9 of those points have to be in your SL exams. At least 12 of those have to be in your HL exams. That's usually the difficult part. And then you have the option to earn some extra bonus points. In addition, you cannot score 1 on any subject exam. You could get like 40 points total, and if you get a 1 on one of your exams, no good. And you can't get more than 2 2s or more than 3 3s. Okay. As I mentioned, there are some additional bonus points that you can get based on how well you do in theory of knowledge and the extended essay. Notice that there are some grades for theory of knowledge and extended essay that count as a failing condition. And that means even if you do everything else, if you have a failing EE or TOK, you do not get the diploma. Extended essay workshops start in term 2 of junior year, and again, just like in CAS, you must complete all workshops on Google Classroom in order to remain eligible to write the EE. The EE is the 3,000 to 4,000 word research paper. You will have a TBLS advisor, that's any teaching magistrate, and the whole process is overseen by myself and Mr. Hill. If you opt into writing an extended essay, it will show up as a 0 credit pass-fail course on your transcript. That means if you opt into the EE, but you do not complete all these workshops, it will show up as a fail on your transcript. So you'll have to think really carefully if you can do all of the work required for the EE. If you pass or you fail, it will have 0 impact on your GPA, but again, colleges will see this. The extended essay is graded by the IB, not your magistrate, and the rubric focuses on the focus and the method, the knowledge and the understanding, critical thinking, presentation, and engagement. This last piece is how well you engage with your advisor and the whole process. Okay? You'll see the grade boundaries here on the lower right. And again, D is the minimum score to avoid failing the IB diploma. TOK has an external and an internal assessment. For your TBLS grade, TOK is pass-fail, but it is a 1 credit course, so that does actually impact your credits toward graduation. The internal assessment is a TOK exhibition, and the external assessment is not an exam, it's the essay. Please remember, when you're filling out your IB preference form, that if you opt into junior year TOK or the optional IB diploma, you must take class either during lunch or after school, in addition to doing assignments on Google Classroom. So this is outside of the school day. CAS is included on your transcript also as a 0 credit pass-fail course. Similar to EE, it has no impact on your GPA, but if you opt into CAS and then you don't do any of the work, that fail will show up on your transcript. Again, I'm not saying this to scare you, I just want to make sure you make smart decisions when you're making your IB preference and think about yourself and your own ability to do work outside of the classroom. CAS assignments will all be posted on the Class of 23 Google Classroom, and they'll be graded in junior year by Mr. Thomas and myself. And then at the end of junior year and throughout senior year, you will also be given a CAS advisor, a teaching magister who will help you with this process. It starts September of junior year. You cannot start to log reflections before then. Again, don't worry too much about what CAS entails now because we'll have lots of lessons junior year, but it's all about doing extracurriculars outside the classroom in the areas of creativity, activity, and service. Creativity kind of speaks for itself. Do you play a musical instrument? Do you draw? Do you code video games, right? That's all creative. Activity is exercise. It is physical exertion that helps contribute to a healthy lifestyle. And then service is giving service to any community, your home community, your school community, your religious community, as long as it is not proselytizing or spreading of the religion. So for example, giving out food to needy families through your mosque or synagogue is CAS, but trying to convert people would not be CAS. Another thing, you cannot earn school credit either at TBLS or elsewhere for anything CAS, and you cannot get paid for it. So this is all stuff that you're doing out of the goodness of your own heart for free. CAS is not a set number of hours. So people are like, oh, is this 200 hours of community service? There's no set number of hours. It's all about what you learn through this process, and you'll be graded on reflections that you'll be doing throughout the 2 years. You must also have one CAS project, which is a student-led project that accomplishes a goal. And you'll also have to write your reflections to show how the work you're doing is leading toward the CAS learning outcomes. IB grades and TBLS grades are completely separate. You can have 100 in your math class and bomb the IB exam and get a 2 on the math exam. IB does not consider your TBLS grade to determine if you're eligible to take the IB exam. Your TBLS grades, in particular, back when we were in person and you were taking in-person timed exams, completing seminar, declamation, and all the other rigorous components of school, are a good indicator for how you may perform on the IB exams. You will not be officially registered for the IB exams until the fall of your senior year. But again, there is no room in our program to change your schedule after you opt in this year. So what options do I have beginning junior year? When you come back to school in September, you may certainly opt out of CAS after term 1 of junior year, right? If you say, I want to do CAS now, and you change your mind, you can opt out after term 1. You cannot opt out in the middle of the term. So if you're failing CAS and you're just like, hey, I just want out, you have to wait till the end of the term and you will get a fail for term 1. You can opt out of the EE until September of your senior year, but again, your EE grade from term 2, if you opt into the EE, will remain on your transcript. And you can decide not to sit for IB exams right up until registration in October of senior year. Just because you're in IB classes does not mean you have to sit for the exams. All of these decisions, just like your IB preference, will have to be made in conjunction with your families, and parents will have to fill out a form to acknowledge any changes. What am I unable to do? Once you do your IB preferences for your SLs and your HLs, and also for your electives, you cannot change your courses. You cannot change your courses at all once you opt into them. You cannot drop TOK if you elect to take it junior year, even after term 1. You're in for the year. And you cannot drop CAS or EE in the middle of a term. And what are you unable to do? Change anything about IB without consulting your family. So what now? What do you have to do now? You're almost at the end of the IB preference process. You have to complete this week's exit ticket by Friday, March 26th at 11:59 p.m. Again, we are tracking these to give priority to IB preference. You need to discuss your IB preference with your family. And here's the big one. Complete the IB preference form by Friday, April 9th at 11:59 p.m. Okay? If your form is late and there's no room available in your first choice classes, you will get lower preference. So please make sure, mark every calendar you have, that you get this form in on time. And then your family needs to complete the CareMonkey form to confirm your IB preference. I will be checking all of these. If you pick that you want to take IB Visual Arts as your elective and your family says you're taking IB Computer Science, I will note the discrepancy and we'll have to have a conversation. However, please note, right, that we are here to support you and your choices, and we want to make sure that you make good choices. So if you and your family are having a disagreement about your choices, you can contact us. You can contact your counselors. and we can help you and your family come to an understanding about the IB process. I will also be checking your grades for your HL selection. So if you're failing Algebra 2 Trig right now and you pick Math HL, we will have a discussion about that too. All right, I know there's a lot of scary information here, but this process is really exciting, and hopefully you're really excited to take on these IB classes and get back to school. So, Mr. Hill, Mr. Thomas, and I are all here for you, as well as your counselors, and we look forward to seeing you in school next year.